the way we did it was that the part of the film that takes place in London with the Fatih's family, it was Nasib and a cinematographer and assistant director called Anita Hopland who was there, because we felt that if I and our normal cinematographer, who is a white guy like me, were trampling around in this little house, it would be very difficult to gain the trust of the family, and especially the mother, who is like the head of the family. So it worked out very well that Nasib and Anita was there, being there for a long time. I think time was an essential factor. Just being there, hanging out, but you can tell more about that, how important that was.
And it's also important to speak the same language and know cultural, and that make easier for me and to talk about it. And the only thing is about we just be there and just make it. We don't tell about we're doing this way now, we're doing this time, and we have to make this 2 hour to finish it. We use it whole days, just like maybe we make it about half an hour to recording that day all day. But we give the time to be themselves and to talk about it and forget about their camera inside, and we are filming about it and be themselves.
And with Mohammed's family in Mogadishu, it was a different process because there are so many security issues that we could not work in the same way as we used to do. We had to move around all the time and plan a lot in advance. You couldn't use time in the same way that you did in London, because we had so restricted rules because of the security situation. So we had to work more like we are setting up this scene. Mohammed speaks to his mother about this and that, or Mohammed speaks to his uncle about this and that, because of the security issues and the way we had to work in Mogadishu. And so that was a whole other process of
we cannot go his mother's local position where she's living, and make film there. But we have to take from her from there because our security to stay with us. So it's opposite, and you cannot around when you're making movie in Mogadishu in the street location. So it's very hard to be there more than half an hour or something like that. You have to make very quickly because you never know when Al-Shabaab makes suicide bomb.
I also had to, realize, okay, there's people with guns everywhere. And that's it, and some of the heavy guns, and they're driving around in trucks with big heavy guns, and you never know if they're affiliated with government or police or some kind of private militia belonging to some guy, or if they're Al-Shabaab. You never really know. And these guys who started shooting warning shots above our heads, they were private security. You call that for some
living
down the hill, and they just felt like we couldn't be there, so they started shooting. And
we don't have to shoot back. If you shoot back, you're lost in Somalia, because they accelerated very fast.
Luckily, our security team reacted in the perfect way. They by not shooting back, but approaching them and giving them a hard time.
Yeah.
So Nasib has done a huge job being out there, showing the film, having the debate with people, and they show up. And we had a big screening in Copenhagen in one of these areas, and there was, I think, 700 people, and they were standing in line at the microphones to say what they think and to contribute to the debate. And I wish that all those politicians had been there, but they didn't come, of course, none of them. But the people who are actually involved in this and are touched by this, the mothers, for example, a lot of Somali mothers came to that venue and talked, and a lot of different people. And that's what we need to do with these films, and be careful that they don't stay in a closed circuit of well-educated white people.